semi-hollow guitars are not for me. I thought they were only for jazz and blues players. But when I stumbled upon this guitar, I knew I had been wrong, because this Nik Huber Surfmeister can pretty much do it all. Here's the sound and the story. As guitarists, we all had that one guitar type we never thought we would gel with, right? And then we just did. What was it for you? Leave me a comment. Because for my younger self, for young Joey, a semi-hollow guitar was that type of guitar. In fact, I couldn't really relate with semi-hollow guitars. For me, there were guitars for older people, I would say. So how did I get into semi-hollow guitars? It was actually by accident. So like I said, I was around 20 years old. It is 2012. Young Joey wants to play rock music. And it's important to notice that I am based in Germany. And for us Germans, there are the big American brands. But the #1 coolest German brand is Nik Huber. And since young Joey at age 20 only wanted to play rock and roll, Nik Huber was a viable option because Nik Huber had just come out with the Nik Huber Crowdster, a perfect stripped down to bare bones rock and roll guitar with a very minimalistic approach. Just a hunk of mahogany, a maple neck, and it sounded absolutely awesome. I had deified Nik Huber guitars even before that, but when they came out with the Crowdster, I knew that brand was for me. It was the perfect rock and roll guitar. Perfect for young Joey. So I went to the biggest music fair that we have in Germany and I played that stuff. There's even a video out there still on YouTube that shows me playing a left-handed Nik Huber Crowdster at the booth in 2012. I played the guitar and I was floored. I needed to have one, but I was 20 years old. I didn't have the money for a boutique guitar like that. But at least I got to know the Nik Huber crew and Nik Huber himself at that trade fair, and we stayed in contact over the years. In 2018, I got a call from the Nik Huber crew, and they basically said, Joey, we got a guitar here. It is left-handed, we have it in for repair. It's our new model, the Surfmeister. Do you want to come down and try it? So I sat down, Googled the specs, and saw, okay, it's a semi-hollow guitar. And I was like, really? A semi-hollow guitar? For me as a rock guitarist? Not sure. But at the end of the day, it was a Friday afternoon, I was done working, I could drive down to Nik Huber's shop and see a couple guitars. What's not to like? So I went there, played a lefty Surfmeister, and was absolutely stunned. Why? Because A, it sounded aggressive and it sounded mid-focused, and it could also sound hollow and kinda round when you played it with a clean sound. Cool sparkling highs when you played it clean, but also mid-focused enough that it would have a sound that would just push through when you drove it hard. On top of it, the Surfmeister was so light. And that was something I found really relieving after playing Les Pauls for all these years. So after just 15 minutes of playing, I was totally down to buy one. The issue was, Nik Huber is pretty much a custom shop, so I had a million specs to choose from. So deciding on the right specs to get the most versatile guitar was up next. And so we started to talk about specs. By default, the Surfmeister comes with a mahogany body. That's pretty much the standard. Often it would come with a humbucker and a P90, but I wanted to have two PAFs because I found this to be more versatile. I just wanted to have that kind of feeling that you have when you play like a 339 or a 335 and flip to the neck pickup, and it's that beautiful warm round sound. Then I had the option to choose between a wraparound bridge and a Bixby, and I wanted to have the wraparound bridge just because that's the same bridge that is on the Crowdster, and the Crowdster bridge is amazing. Just, you don't have to do anything, just stays in tune perfectly, is set up like that, calibrated like that, works every time, no hassle. And since I'm a huge Foo Fighters and Dave Grohl fan, I wanted to have a Trini Lopez kind of hole instead of the normal F hole that the Surfmeister usually comes with. Same for the color. Wanted to have something fresh, something blue, something a little nice. And if you look at it, it's actually super nice. Sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's gray, sometimes it's kind of white, depending on how you look at it. It has a million colors in just one color, so I got all the colors. And that's a good deal. Okay, and moving on, I went with a mahogany neck. Usually, I believe the Surfmeister comes with a maple neck. But I actually didn't want that on a hollow body guitar because if you're playing straight rock and roll, a maple neck never hurts because the attack is faster and overall the mids are more focused. But I knew I wanted this guitar to play a million different genres, so I went with the more classic option, if you will, just so I can cover every genre if I need to. And it turns out that I can, because with these kind of PAFs, they sound so bright. They can actually twang if you want them to, and they can absolutely roar if you want them to when you like dialing it in a high-end sound. Also, let's just weigh this thing and see, because I told you it's super light. It actually weighs 5 pounds 6 ounces. That is pretty light. That would be around 2.3 kilograms, I think. So you can pretty much throw this thing around. I mean, you shouldn't, but you could if you wanted to, because it's just that light, and that's really awesome, because when you're traveling, when you're on tour, when you're using a gig bag, that's just amazing. It's the perfect guitar if you only can have one guitar. So my resentment for semi-hollow guitars just went away because of an accident and the incredible opportunity that the Nik Huber crew gave me to test one of their guitars. I love this guitar to pieces, and it's been my companion on a lot of sessions. I've recorded with it a million times. Absolutely happy to dive into more semi-hollow guitars. And with that, I want to end this episode. I'm gonna play you out. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.